Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Light of Illumis. How are you guys all doing today? Are you excited?
Great. Yes.
We're excited.
Are you ready to praise the sun?
I am so
Praise the
ready.
sun.
Wow.
I even gave myself fake freckles and a fake sunburn. It's not it's not super obvious, but I'm hoping people can tell there's some wannabe freckles in there.
I
I
can see the
appreciate it. I
wannabe.
was like, oh my god, you became your character.
I
Mhm.
tried a little bit.
Mhm. It's good.
This is
Have you
my
seen
best
the art
shot.
of your character that's floating out there? It's so
I
good.
know. It's because they put freckles on it that I did freckles today. Because
Nice.
I didn't consider she had freckles, but it makes so much sense.
Ah,
It makes so much sense. I'm going for it. Next
Alright.
time, just watch out. I'll have even more.
Next time we'll actually get you sunburned on Wednesday or something.
Every episode, I'll just add more red and more freckles until I'm just like one freckle blob.
Lovely. Right. So, where did we last leave off? Trump, you want to catch us up to where we are today?
Sure thing. You get the nice brief recap Trump style. We traveled to Confluence on our way north to the dwarfs. On the way to Confluence, we ran into a bunch of undead. Looks like they've been in the area and have possibly been attacking the town. In the town, we planned about our next move. We gathered some followers through some performance art by Cornelius. Is that your name? Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And we also, right at the end, when we were about to head off, we ran into our recurring friend, Minnie, the wizard.
Yes, we did. And what was Minnie doing in Confluence?
She was supposedly coming to visit her mentor wizard.
And how did you leave things with her? What was the last bit of the conversation?
We were about to I don't think we completely resolved it. We were deciding whether or not to take her along.
Well, then I think
We
we
healed
left...
her twice to make sure that she could chase us again.
That's right. I remember casting.
I was protesting the heal.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Cornelius and Sister Helen were looking at each other like, yee.
Kerberos healed her for 5 with a Cure Light Wound spell, and Berthold cast Accelerated Healing, which will heal her more quickly if she stays put and a little bit more slowly if she follows after you, which is an interesting effect of that spell in this situation. It's very nice. And I think the party was leaving the house to discuss whether or not to take Minnie along. And that is where we should pick back up as the party heads out of the house and into the streets of Confluence to discuss the pros and cons of Minnie. That's where
Right.
you discuss the pros and cons of Minnie.
I made the case last time, but this time it seems more obvious that she isn't as big a threat and she isn't following us to the ends of the earth. Let's take her along. It'll make the quest have a higher chance of success.
If you're sure, I mean, she could kill us in our sleep.
I mean, everybody can kill everybody in their sleep, to be fair. I'd like to believe people are better than that.
Well,
Trust me, I've seen my... No, that's Sister Helen. But she's heard the tales of, olden stories of legendary thieves killing a whole camp throughout the one night without doing a single fight. So it is definitely a constant issue.
That's an old folk tale. I don't know if that's actually true or not.
I don't believe it. I don't feel people have that in their hearts. Who would do such a thing?
More importantly, this is clearly the will of Tempos. What are the odds that we would randomly meet into her in this town, if not for the meddling of, the guidance of the great god Tempos leading us there?
I hear your point. I certainly respect the god Tempus. I just want to make sure... I mean, it could also have been the will of the wizard to just follow us. But it
Exactly.
might be a true coincidence. Honestly, if she was not following us and she happens to be there, I 100% believe this is the will of Tempos.
She arrived after us, didn't she? Isn't that why she's wounded? She ran into the zombies we put on the bridge.
Yes. Or before, but probably after.
She could have followed us. She's a wizard. She could be scrying on us or watching our every move.
She could be. Good thing we're powerful clerics with the ability to know that.
Yeah, I think if we knew what was in her heart. I mean, last time we interrogated her, I don't personally feel like she passed the test. And the rest of you guys may trust her, but I still don't.
Well, the last time I was outvoted 3-1, and you guys managed to convince me. But this time, it's clear that Tempos is in play here, guiding us towards the right path.
Well, Bertolt, if you're so sure that Tempos is guiding our path, then why don't you flip a coin? Let fate decide.
Okay, maybe I will.
I toss him a coin from my sack.
Right. As
Using-
I truly believe in Tempos, clearly this will do the right decision. So I guess I'll just roll 1d2, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Roll it.
Well, wait, which number?
Roll it, roll
Which
it.
result?
Yeah, one
Which
has-
number is which result?
All right. As the Tempos has decreed, it's co-op heads.
there it is, the one.
I flip the coin right in the air. It flips a few times, heads, and I say, "This is the will of Tempos." So you can see, he tells us that we can start rain.
Oh wow! I cannot believe it landed on exactly the number we said it needed to land in order for her to follow us. What are the odds?
How could one doubt such an act of the gods?
What I would like to know before we go and give her the wonderful news, she's definitely a faithful one, isn't she? I do still have my doubts, but let's count on Tempos' accuracy in this case. What I'd like to know is why would she come along and what would she gain out of it? Because I still refuse to lend her the thing to identify her want.
What, even after we're done?
That could be discussed.
Well, then we'll.
I have one mission, one life's mission.
Yes,
what
our-
happens after, it's...
Our agreement is simple. We will let her do her identify after we're done.
I agree with Bertolt. If the deed is done and the magic's worked and the stone remains, then
Yes,
let her have at it.
my life's work would be complete. I would not have further use of this stone. I mean, I hope it would be put to good use, to serve the gods and not a lot of identification for random wizards, but it sounds like it would be an acceptable trade. All right, so that's what we would offer her. And then how do we ensure, she doesn't get too excited and wants to run off with it or use it while we're not looking?
Well, that is where a little thing called faith comes in. You have to believe that she was put here, she was led here by Tempos in order to join us on this quest.
Let me propose a new view here. She is a wizard after all, and us dwarven folk, we are extra resilient to the dastardly ways of the wizards. Perhaps, Sister Helen, if you'd agree, maybe I should look after the stone, such that if the wizard does decide to betray us, that I could resist her enthralling and protect the stone, in where our human friends here may fall foul of her magic.
I feel like I
Strange
should...
proposition. After all, wizards are not known for their confounding magics, are they?
Are they not?
This one seems more like an evocation wizard, after all.
Oh, Bertolt, I didn't know you were such an arcane scholar.
I saw her cast fireball. I'm I'm aware enough of that.
I don't want to dismiss your offer at all. I would like to sleep on it.
Perhaps. That's fine. But
We
sleep with one eye open.
could make it known that I'm the carrier of the stone. I show my decoy box, my decoy stone. If she tries to betray somebody, she can come for my stone.
Do you have? Oh, you have a decoy box and a decoy stone by now.
Yeah.
Are they identical, Neal? Are they similar?
They are similar. They're not identical.
But it's like a same type of box, like a lead box.
It's a box that opens up. It's probably not lead lined. That I don't think we went to the trouble of getting a
We
full
talked
lead
about
and
it.
silver one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just have two boxes, and unless you know which one is which, you wouldn't, right? But from the outside, they're just two boxes. So how would anyone?
Okay, and in both there are stones. But one of them emanates a crazy amount of magical aura, and the other doesn't. Well, I doubt that she would fall for such tricks, but just in case, if the gods wanted to be this way, I'm not against taking an additional precaution. How about I cast a spell on your rock so that it also emanates magical energy? I will cast. I don't know if I have it on my character sheet right now. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. But I will cast Continual Light on the stone.
Excellent. I think we've already spent one day here in town, so you've probably memorized any spells that you had expended.
Wonderful.
I do believe we talked about spell expenditure and recall when we rested in town. So if it's on your character sheet, you've got it. If not, we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Okay, I didn't have it, but I'll have it tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll cast Continual Light on it so that it emanates magical energy forever.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to do it, but I find it unlikely that the wizard's not going to be able to tell the difference, right? She could detect the stone from across the city. There's no way a Continual Light spell would be detected like that.
That's true. However, consider this. She already knows we have the stone. We don't need to be obvious about it. I can just make sure that she sees me packing up the box.
Yeah.
Why would a wizard recheck to see if it was magical when she already knows we have it? That seems like a weird thing to do.
That's a fair point.
Maybe it can't hurt.
Yeah, I don't see the harm.
We don't need to talk about it. I'll just make sure she sees me putting it into my pack.
Even if it's not about her, if we run into other thieves, at least this time we'll have something to give them.
Right. Well, the rest of the day can be spent getting ready to go. And tomorrow you are going to meet up with Opal and head to Tharnham. Perhaps we should talk to Minnie before we leave? Maybe today?
Probably a good idea.
Probably a good idea. All right. Back upstairs. Right now, or do you want to go later? Is this an immediate turnaround and head back into the building? Is it a wait until the morning?
We don't want to seem too keen, but we should also let her know before tonight.
I mean, we have to get her ready. She
Yeah.
need time to prepare.
You're right. We should probably go and tell her the news. I still have my doubts, but I am going to trust that all of you will, keep a watchful eye over the stone and our party. Maybe we'll do rounds at night or something.
Yeah, and just make sure you get a good old zone of truth on her tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
Well, back we go to chat with Minnie. Head back to the house, through the gate, give a knock on the door, and you can see that a servant is already waiting for you. As your a couple of raps land on it, the door opens up, and a servant looks very expecting to see you, almost like they were probably peering through a window to watch the party outside. And as you begin to state your purpose here, down from the stairs comes the lord of the house, Minnie, and her bodyguard. They trot down the narrow staircase and stand before you, waiting to see what this is all about.
Well, Minnie, as you know, I am a cleric of Tempos, and I believe that you have been led here by him in order to join us on our quest. What say you?
This is quite the change from last time we spoke.
It is, but gods work in funny ways, don't they?
They most certainly do. And how could I reject a call to action from 4 clerics? She turns to her bodyguard. Get us ready. And then turns back to the 4 of you. When do we leave?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow when the sun rises, of course.
Perfect.
We must greet the sun when he comes back from its slumber.
Perfect. I shall see you at sunrise then. And she extends a hand to the cleric of Illumis.
I shake her hand, giving her a very intense look in the eyes, trying to read her a little bit and kind of conveying how important this is.
Give me a charisma check. You know,
It's
she
not that
seems
meaningful.
pleased. And then she will turn and shake the hand of the cleric of Tempos with the words, "May fate have our back."
Indeed, it works in strange ways.
Hmm.
Thank you for so readily agreeing.
Mhm. She'll turn to the cleric of Malchus, reaching out her hand as well. "The god of humans has always been on my side. I'm glad to share the road with you."
I'm glad you're with us.
And lastly, to the cleric of Falumbra, with a more gentle and polite, "I thank you for your earlier kindnesses. I know one day I will need of your services, but I hope that day is not soon."
I give her a solemn sort of nod, but I don't shake her hand.
You just leave it hanging there in the wind?
Yeah.
Okay. She will take it back and excuse herself and head up the stairs, leaving Lord Roy to observe these happenings. Clerics, would you like to come in for some tea? I can have one of my servants make you up some finger sandwiches, perhaps?
Well, sure, why not? This will be our one chance to relax before our grand journey begins.
Please, right this way. And he will lead you into the house and call for the servants to go make preparations to host a group of clerics in the house, a rare treat for a man such as him. And he will regale you with stories and pour out his finest wines and bring you the best foods he can get. He will send out for a collection of small meats from the local butcher in town and do his best to sort of impress you and, show you a lot of good hospitality.
Does he sit with us when
Absolutely.
we're eating these things?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I'll start eating something and I'll say to him, like, "So, lad, how is it you met Minnie?"
We studied together under the tutelage of a great wizard from Shirebrook. That was a long, long time ago, and I have not the aptitude to really pursue the studies nearly as well as Minnie, so I mostly left them fall by the wayside. And a wizard by the name of Aldrich, if you know Shirebrook, or I should say New Shirebrook before its fall.
Alas, I can't say I did, but I'm sure he was a great man.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose not continuing one's studies is a benefit of being a rich man.
It is. I have had many options in life. Tempos and Malchus have been kind to me.
Say, your money, does it come from your father, or are you successful in business?
Oh, no, this is intergenerational inherited wealth. We own many lands and farms out in the areas around Confluence, and a good chunk of a modest chunk of the Harkenwood logging rights and mineral rights and whatnot.
It's very impressive. It's very impressive. Your father, was he a religious man?
We are all religious people in this world. The gods come and work their magics through benevolent clerics such as yourselves. But I would not say he spent much time in prayer nor in gratitude. One of his few vices and faults.
Well, as important as our job is, and I thank you for the kind words, you know, we couldn't do it without the generosity of the people, especially those successful businessmen that have made good amounts of gold. And your father might not have been a religious man, but coin can go a long way to erase the sins of one's forefathers.
You don't say.
I sit back and take a bite of the food that I'm eating. Delicious, by the way. Thank you.
Quite. I had it imported from Blue Cliff. Not a great feat in the modern age, not a great feat in the old age, but these days, that's about as far as you can go. Is there anything I can help you with for your journey? Any supplies that you might need for this great undertaking that is so mysterious and which I promise never to speak of?
I'm sure we could do with all sorts of manner of rations and water skins, and perhaps a donkey or two could be of use if that's something that is within your purview.
Certainly. Let me just go get my coin purse, he says as he gets up from the table and scampers upstairs.
Thank you, my lord. I look over to Sister Helen and give her a little wink.
It's so great to have such faithful people supporting our journey already.
Indeed.
Between those 3 faithfuls, Minnie showing up thanks to Tempos, and this faithful believer wanting to help fund our quest, it does feel like the gods are shining upon us.
True, Confluence is truly a holy town.
Roll me a charisma check there, Nick.
Yes.
How persuasive are you? Ooh, excellent.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Now roll me 5d20.
53.
You will get 53 gold.
We'll take it. Thank you very much. I make a point of being extremely generous. Thank you, my lord. Thank you, my lord. This will go a great way on our quest. And the church thanks you. Falumbra, personally, thanks you a great deal. And I will sort of be deferent towards him as I take the gold.
Anything to help great clerics and friends of my friend Minnie.
Of course. Well, like I said, the people of Confluence are truly blessed to have you.
Your words flatter me. And he'll talk your ear off for a little bit longer, but I think that pretty much wraps us up here. And we can, unless someone has something they want to do tonight, we can just skip to the next day.
Yeah, well, I just think maybe I'm going to spend some of this gold. So we've got 3 people coming with us, did you say?
Yeah, and they've already set out to get gear for themselves.
Oh, yeah, we had discussed
What
purchasing.
happened was I told them, because I don't know if they're still going to be enthralled. So I said, give it a couple days, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you still want to come.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're still going to be all about it when the time comes to leave or not.
We had discussed getting 7 slings between the 2 streams, so that when people are out of spells, they can still do something and something ranged.
Yes, I have added slings to all of your character sheets.
Cool.
You will note that none of you are proficient with slings, so you have -3 to use them, but you still have them in case you want. It's also worth mentioning that slings need a lot of space to spin up properly, and so they can't be used indoors, and you can't really fire over anybody, and you need extra space that you wouldn't normally need. Totally useful. But if you're ever in a cramped situation or you're trying to stack next to each other pretty closely, the slings won't work.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Was there any easier weapon to use in these days? A ranged weapon?
Any
Right.
weapon you have that you're not proficient with, you'll have a -3 penalty to use.
Even a hand crossbow? Is that not a little bit better?
That's
Doesn't
true.
have a-
Crossbows have no proficiency requirement. However,
Yeah.
crossbows are super expensive, and slings are practically free.
What is the price of a crossbow? Out of interest. I'm also thinking, guys, that maybe we get a second donkey. If we're going to attract followers, we could do with extra rations. So we could just like use this gold to buy a donkey with a bunch of food and just kind of like bring it along with us.
Keep in mind, I also have a lot of gold, so
I
guess,
just
I
want to
mean-
make sure that we have enough money when we get to the place we need to get to
That's true.
purchase the gear
Materials.
we'll need. Yes, that should be our priority. That and
Mhm.
speed, making sure we get there.
You are
in
very
time.
wise, Sister Helen.
Market price for a light crossbow is 35 to 40 gold. However, in these days, you might be hard pressed to find any for sale.
I'm not spending 50 gold on a crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slings are
But,
like a couple of copper. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think then we wait a couple of days to see if these people come back. Is that right, Cornelius? And then we will
well, I feel like
head out.
when
I think it was the next morning.
it was
that
the
we
next
were
day,
supposed
so
to-
when we go to leave, I expect they'll show up at the inn or
Okay.
not.
Yes, and that is
Yeah.
exactly what happens. They are there outside the inn, waiting for you at the crack of dawn, ready to go.
Ah, that's exactly the spirit. Is the wizard also there and then excited
Yes,
to be
she
there?
is. Minnie and her minion are right there with you. They've
Aw.
each healed up a little bit more,
Mhm.
and
I'll cast a healing spell on Minnie if she's still. Oh, what is her fighter wounded as well?
yes, her fighter is at 8 out of 18. Minnie is, well, now she's at Minnie's at 12 out of 19 after one night of accelerated healing.
Okay, I'm going to cast a Cure Light Wounds on the fighter.
And Jen, you're casting a continual light on the fake stone.
I
or
would
not.
have done that before we meet everyone.
Yeah, not in the
to be
presence.
fair.
Right.
I go up to the fighter, and I say, "Let me see to your wounds, son," and I'll, cast Cure Light Wounds here and heal them for 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go over to Minnie and I say, "Apologies, Minnie. Could I see your wounds?"
She will show you where she has been bitten at by zombies and hacked at by skeletons wielding weapons.
Yes, the accelerated healing is working here. I'll conserve my magics for now, Minnie. Stay out of danger on the road today. I can heal you more tomorrow. And I will let her know she can cover herself back up or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Soon-
After all that, I want to conspicuously get all my things together and make everybody see that I've packed the decoy box and stuff.
Yeah, you set your pack on the ground and go through it one last time and put the box back in the right spot.
Making
Yes.
sure you didn't forget the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where is it that this decoy box is being hidden on your person?
Do I have a pack?
Totally.
Where I carry most of my things. Yeah.
Is it when you pack a pack, there's stuff at the bottom, there's stuff at the top. Is it in the middle? Is it all the way at the bottom? Is it sitting gently at the top of the pack?
We'll put it in the middle.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Nice. And Jen, you have the real box, which
Yeah.
is, you said you were going to be carrying it in your backpack
I
and then in your
know.
hands when you're in town.
Yeah, I guess I'll keep it in my backpack, but before we leave and meet up with everyone, I'm gonna ask them to really always keep an eye. So always
Mhm.
one person behind me at all times.
Okay. And same question to you. Is it the top of the pack, the bottom of the pack, in the middle of the pack?
I would think the bottom is probably the safest, right?
Gotcha.
That's logical sense.
Mhm.
Definitely not the top.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
Well, off we go, meeting up with Opal. She has with her the pair of dwarves. Actually, I think it's 2 dwarves that she has with her. And then she also has a collection of human bodyguards. I believe it's 8 human bodyguards that help watch the wagon and keep it safe from zombies on the road from Confluence to Tharnum and back. The two dwarves are part of her clan. They're workers with her and they travel with her. They're important. We don't know their names. We don't care about their names. And then the 8 human warriors will follow along as the main fighters in case there is danger on the road. There's one cart pulled by a pair of oxen. Minnie and Opal will sit in the cart. Opal is driving, Minnie being the spellcaster who needs rest in order to be affected by Accelerate Healing, shouldn't be walking all day. So she's going to ride in the cart as well. And everybody else will walk alongside. And
this is a strange topic, but I was under the impression that those other guys had died. It's like a little awkward, huh?
Minnie's dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did die.
I guess they did. Oh,
so who are these people then?
These are Opal's bodyguards.
Oh, Opal's bodyguards. Okay.
Opal's bodyguards, yeah. Yeah, all of Minnie's are dead.
Sorry. Opal is a dwarf. Who is?
She's the dwarf you talk to who's taking you to Tharnum and maybe to other places.
Yes, I remember now. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Excellent. And so off we go on the road from Confluence to Tharnum. It's not a safe road. We've already seen that there are undead about. And on the road today, you are beset by these creatures. There is a ambush. Well, maybe ambush is not the right word. That implies too much forethought. There are undead upon the road that come out at that were stationed near a key choke point. We're not going to bother with the battle because you outnumber them with your bodyguards and with the 4 of you and with your 3 human followers and with the 2 extra dwarves and with the bodyguard Bruce and with it would be a one-sided battle. We're not going to waste our time. But I do want to know, in the battle, what would your position be? Are you frontline fighters? Are you letting the hired help do the work? Are you using your turn undead or other abilities? You could sit back and take your time and wait to see how the battle progresses before using your stuff, or you could impress these people with your magics right away. What is your approach to dealing with undead on the road?
To ask real quick, are you trying to discern what kind of powers everybody around us will be aware of us having?
There are many layers to what I'm trying to discern here.
If the battle's easy, I don't foresee, at least me personally, employing a great deal of effort and using all my best spells if it's a simple battle.
It looks like a simple battle. You see 3 skeletons and 2 zombies ahead of you and 2 skeletons behind you. And there's 8, 9, 10, 11 other fighters plus a spellcaster here to help out. So,
could you remind me how many times we can cast Turn Undead?
Once per encounter.
Oh,
let's not forget though that last time the undead just ran away. We should be ridding the lands of this scourge. While we have the men and the power, we should put them down for good rather than just driving them away.
So it sounds
Fair point.
like the cleric of Malchus conserves his magic and doesn't expend it. Sounds like the cleric of Falumbra also is trying to destroy things and not turn them, but you don't have any offensive combat spells, so you wade into it with mace in hand.
No, I think I probably stay on the second line, so to speak, and I'll heal people who get wounded. If things get desperate, though, I would fight you.
Okay. What
How
about
does that turned undead work? Do they flee from the caster even while they're being meleeed by the bodyguards?
Yeah, they will. If they are successfully turned, they will flee from you, and to practically all other tasks. They will just get away from you as far as possible, unless they're cornered, in which case they're stuck.
Seems obvious to me. I'll always lead off the encounter by turning these undead and saying, chase them down, rid them from the land.
And what about you, cleric of Illumis?
I had a similar thought. I would have waited for them to be close enough so that they're in, combat range of our worthy group. And then at the last minute, before they could hurt anyone, I would cast Turn Undead. And then I would probably try out my sling for the first time to see if I can hit anything.
Excellent. Would both of you, Cleric of Tempos, Cleric of Illumis, would both of you roll me a 1d20 for the strength of your turn undead? An 18 and a 7. Okay. Excellent. Once the battle is over and done with, and the bodies are being kicked, and the bones are being moved, there's like a gasp and a stark movement being made by your ally. I'm gonna scroll down to this over here. This is your little setup. We can see our player characters. Are what? 1, 2, 3, 4. This here is Opal, your driver. This is Minnie. This is Bruce, her bodyguard. The 2 extra dwarves at the back, and everybody else is a human. Down here are like your new assistants who are coming with you. And then everything else is just one of these human bodyguards who fanned out to make sure the area is safe, that the oxen and everything are intact.
I'd like to switch to the front.
Yeah, go ahead. Move yourself wherever you'd like.
Are these bodies, are they the zombies?
Yes.
That's
Those
just
are
been
zombies.
killed.
Yes.
So who is it that's crying out?
It is Minnie. Minnie the
Where is-
wizard. She's
where is she?
in the front of the cart next to
Oh.
Opal, but it's just awkward to put the tokens that way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I stacked them that way. But she's in the front of the cart, and you can see her eyes are going wide. She's been turned around to like look into the back of the covered wagon. And as you look at her, you can see some faint ghostly hands reaching from the inside of the wagon to either side of her head, grasping onto it as
God.
a ghost merges into Minnie's body, sort of becoming one with her, and her body goes limp on the seats.
Quick, the 2 of you, turn that undead.
Yeah, I'll cast.
All right. Turning undead is, it's the whole exorcist, like the power of Christ compels you. What does it sound like when you, cleric of Malchus, are turning undead? What are the holy words of power that you use to drive out evil spirits?
The power of Malchus compels you, obviously.
Yeah, I was thinking of like Hearthstone references for some reason. Yeah, just
And while he thinks of that, Neal, I can't recall that this has ever come up before. If you cast a healing spell on an undead, does it do damage?
You have no idea. You've never had the opportunity to employ it before.
Is there any reason why I should suspect? I mean, I don't think my character's ever played Final Fantasy, so...
Well, healing is generally positive energy from the gods, and spirits are generally from the negative plane. There's some thought that it might work there.
Yeah, all right. I roll initiative to do that then.
Okay.
I'm going to go
Wait,
cast
what
Cure
are
Moderate.
you doing?
I'm going to cast Cure Moderate Wounds on the ghost.
On the body, right? Because you can't touch the ghost.
Oh, it's like she's been completely
She is
possessed.
inhabited by the spirit at the end of the last round. You didn't notice it until
Okay,
possession
on
took
the body
place,
then,
so-
yeah. I feel that might even be better. Yeah.
Go ahead. Roll me initiative. Both of you. 1 for turning, 1 for casting. Anyone else that has an action, now is the time to roll initiative for it.
Oof.
Sorry, I just gotta find my turn undead. Do I just
Just roll me a 1d10 plus 3.
okay?
Oh, it seems like a great idea to debut my very useful spell.
I bet it is useful. I bet it's super useful.
I didn't actually think I'd have a use for this, but this is the time.
Sister Helen is completely shook.
You're rolling with a bless. Bertholt is rolling in with a 6.
Oh yes, that is for hesitation, the spell.
Ooh. Okay, and Cornelius rolled in with a 5. Okay. So the first person to act is actually Cornelius at the same time as possessed Minnie. Both of your actions are going off simultaneously. So she was going to speak. That was her action. You're trying to drive out the spirit. So give me the words. Give me the intonations, any hand motions. What's the flavor of driving out these evil spirits?
Yeah, so I think I'll probably it'll be the same as I was last time we fought, and I just say, "Be gone, evil spirits," or yeah, I guess ghost. And yeah, cast it on her.
Excellent. Roll me a 1d20. You got to do better than the others did. 18. Oh, that is great, but that is the
really
same
good.
that Berthold rolled earlier in the battle, and it is not good enough to drive out the possessed spirit. That means she is at least 7 hit die or greater. Minnie, possessed by this spirit, will speak to the assembled people. You. We're coming for you. Leave it here. Leave it now and flee, and your lives may yet be spared. Drop it to the ground, and your families and children for 100 generations will be spared. Do not, and we will bring doom upon each of your heads, on each of your families. Berthold takes a turn now, casting.
All right, I've prepared this very powerful spell called Hesitation. I am trying to affect Minnie with it. Now, whenever she tries to take an action, she'll hesitate before doing so. This will modify her initiative roll by +4.
Ooh, all right. That means if she's going to cast a fireball or something on you, then it'll be much slower, and you'll have an opportunity to intercept it.
Yes, this spell affects 2 to 8 hit dice or levels of creatures, although only one creature of 4 or more hit dice can be affected, so that may possibly not work. Also, victims are allowed saving throws.
Sounds like you're reading like the side effects of a medication. May cause hesitation.
It's pretty good. So next time when she starts speaking, she'll start speaking slightly later.
Right. Roll me 2d4 for how many hit dice you affect.
All right, this is my most powerful level 2 spell, by the way.
4 hit dice. Not quite enough to affect.
Oh.
Well, actually, Minnie is. Oh, she has fireball. She's at least 5th level. So, yes, not enough to affect her.
Nuts.
Unfortunate. The Cleric of Malchus also goes at this. No, you already went. Berthold went.
already went.
Helen went. What are you doing, Helen?
Oh, I don't know. Like, Helen doesn't know how to react to a spirit and a ghost. It sounds like a very evil thing. So she thought a nice, soothing blessing for the group would do some good, you know? And when in doubt,
Nice.
bless your friends.
Who are you blessing?
Let me just write it out. So it's only one person? I thought it would be a
No, it's
an AoE.
Yeah. You could bless one person. You could bless a whole group of people. Who are you going to bless?
You know what? She doesn't really know how this works with the evil creatures. She feels like maybe, you know, a bless indeed might not be something very comfortable to, you know, like keep inhabiting a creature. So she's just going to bless everyone that's around her.
I think that's good because you know how the saying goes, right? When you're in a mess, just cast bless.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I've also read that scripture.
Oh, all clerics know that. That's standard.
Yes.
Roll me 1d6, please. Yes,
5.
indeed, the evil spirit inhabiting Minnie will stutter in the speech. Minnie's face will contort as the spirit takes 5 points of damage from the blessed spell.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Everyone else here gains +1 to hit and +1 on all saving throws for 6 rounds.
Sweet.
Yes, the
Be
possessed.
gone, possessed soul. Leave Minnie alone!
The face contorts. The creature is clearly in pain, but the feeling subsides and passes, and she turns her eyes towards you. You pitiful cleric of Illumis. What are you doing here? Your god is weak. It has very little power in these lands. Leave at once. Kerberos, you finally go off.
Yeah, I drop my axe to the ground. I come around here like this. And I intend to, as I'm cast, because you got to touch them to cast Cure, right? So I want to, basically, at the point of casting, grab her and, try and drag her off the cart and, throw her to the ground while sort of holding her down if possible and casting the Cure Moderate Wounds and sort of shouting in her face, begone, foul beast! Leave this mortal soul!
I don't know if you can throw her to the ground and cast bless at the same, or healing at the same time. Give me a really good strength check, because you're chanting and casting, and you do have to put your hands on her, but your focus is on the magic.
This doesn't mean failing the spell if I fail the strength check. Just
no, absolutely
she
not.
She stays on the cards. Okay.
Yeah.
28.
Yes, that's actually pretty damn good. You're quite strong, aren't you?
Well, only 12, but it's not bad for a cleric.
All right, so she
only 12, just
she needs a 23 to stay on the cart. She will pass with a 26. And so you'll grab her, you'll tug on her, she'll lean forward, and roll me the healing damage from your Cure Moderate Wounds.
Yeah, I'm kind of half hoping this will heal her and damage the... It's D10 plus 1, right? So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
5?
5 will absolutely heal Minnie. Let me consult the notes over here. No, Minnie goes to 17 out of 19 HP. The spirit does not seem to take any damage from it.
All right, I'm lucky.
All right. Next round, initiative. It is clear that Minnie is going to cast a spell. However, she has an... Oh, no, there's no delay on the initiative. Excellent. Reaching into the robe, she begins to pull out spell components as she begins to chant the words to a spell very slowly. Very slowly.
Neal, we would know, right, that we can interrupt spell casting
Totally.
by
Absolutely.
going now. Okay. What would I believe is the most efficient way to do it? Is it by knocking her in the head with my
just
staff,
going up and
or
shaking
with
them
just
like this is...
shaking her?
Yeah. You just have to be able to get to her fast enough and physically
Yeah.
interrupt her.
And that's easier to land than a hit on someone, right? Grabbing them and shaking them.
Yeah, when she's
would
still
think.
casting, so you'll still need to make a roll to hit, but you only need to hit AC 10 effectively.
Yeah,
so.
okay. All right. So what's the initiative of going up to someone and shaking them?
1d10 plus 3.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Minnie currently considered to be a wizard?
That's a great question. You don't know what spirit it is that has inhabited her. This could be a ruse by the spirit. Or the spirit could be casting a spell of their own spirit spell, or it could be casting one of Minnie's spells, or it could be something else that I'm not mentioning at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I am going to cast... Where is it?
Holy shit. Alrighty. Initiative goes. Bertolt is the first to act, casting Hold Person, targeting...
I actually don't have hold person. I'm just going to hold the person. So I'm gonna grab her.
Nice.
Nice. Make me an attack roll against AC 10. Just a basic attack button from the top right of your character sheet.
All right, basic attack, top right character sheet.
From the combat tab, sir.
Okay, top right.
Melee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Nah, yeah, you grab the crap out of her, and it definitely 100% interrupt the casting of her fireball spell. It will not go off, unfortunately.
Of her fireball spell, eh?
Yes, indeed. Sister Helen, it sounds like you're also running over here to back him up, and you two cast Hold
yeah.
Person. And
Well, I was just physically gonna shake her up, but now that I cannot, I mean, there's no point in doing it. She's held, right? So she's kind of like easy to manipulate, or like.
I know Berthold just grabbed her and is like pulling her off the cart. So she's just being shook.
Okay, so she's just being shook. Okay, I was just wondering if there's a way I could have like used the rope to like immobilize her. Like a spellcasting requires like moving your hands, talking, all that, right? So I was thinking if I like tie up her hands.
Yeah, you want an attempt to like bind her hands while she's doing these things.
Is that something I could attempt, or is that?
Well,
too
you'll first need
far-fetched?
to like overpower her to like Berthold has interrupted the spell and is pulling her off the cart. You're gonna need to like grab her hands and hold them together because she's not going to let you bind the hands, right? Tying up somebody who's resisting is really a 2-person job.
Yeah.
I think I've never attempted it, but I think it's a 2-person job. So with Berthold holding on to her, we could say he's gonna help you do this. Make me a dex check. To see if you can begin an attempt to grab the rope.
Nice. +1 also, because bless.
And this is versus her dex, which is a mad failure. Yeah, you pulled her off the cart. She starts cursing and spitting evil words at you as you begin to bind her hands together. Finally, the Cleric of Malchus, his spell goes off. It is Miscast Magic. And Minnie will roll a saving throw in secret. 1d20, just in case she does manage to get a spell off later. And we'll see if that has been miscast or not. Last but not least, Kerberos, our Cleric of Pelumbra.
Yep, I'm going to cast Hold Person on Minnie.
All right.
Hopefully that works.
And with a 17 on her save, she passes. But she is being bound and tied up and overpowered and dragged to the ground. The bodyguard here is Minnie's companion.
Wait, just on my turn, I say to the group, like, can anyone cast Protection from Evil? We might be able to use it to, like, force the spirit out.
No.
The best I can do is make them hesitate.
No one has Protection from Evil, no?
The bodyguard is uncertain. Clearly, his employer has been possessed, but, like, you're tying her up, you're dragging her to the ground. It seems unnecessarily violent. And he's going to try to insert, like, a little bit of, oh, you've got her, leave her alone. By the gods, what sort of clerics are you? She's incapable of defending herself. Don't hurt her.
I remarked back, since I'm holding her while she's being tied up. Do we look like we're doing anything too rough? We're just making sure she can't burn us to a crisp.
He grumbles and tests his loyalties. All right. His morale holds. He understands what he needs to do here, and he stands by, weapons in hand, but like clearly not attacking anyone, just standing protectively over his employer. Opal, the driver, looks at this mess and goes, ugh. Times are hard these days. I say we leave her tied up on the side of the road and get to where we need to go before it gets too late. And she calls out to her bodyguards and dwarves to get ready to go again, and they begin to come back.
I guess I will try and cast Turn Undead to drive
Now
the
this
spirit
year
out.
you're the last one.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and an 18 has not worked yet. You're going to need to do better than an 18.
Unlikely, but I mean, I feel like it's.
You have the
maybe-
power of the +1.
It does not apply to Turn Undead,
Ah, crap.
unfortunately.
Damn it.
Yes. Go. Okay, never mind.
You're off by 10. Sorry, buddy.
We need to discuss what to do here. I say as we stand over the body of Minnie. Is she like wide-eyed? Are her eyes
Absolutely.
like
She's spitting evil words at you. Foul creatures, my master will come and rend your flesh. He'll tear you limb from limb. Leave the stone. Leave it here. I know you have it. Give it. Drop it. Flee before it's too late. Flee before your children scream in the sleep, etc.
Where is your master?
He's coming for you. And he'll find you, and he'll rip out your eyes and feed them to you, then regrow them so you can watch it happen again and again.
Can we like stuff our mouth with something once we
Yeah.
get bored of listening to her?
Absolutely.
Go on.
Do we like? Could we do an exorcism? Is
Yeah,
that
I was
a thing?
I was about to attempt one more thing. I will cast Command Exercise.
Nice. Nice.
She can be commanded, I do believe, exercise.
Exorcise, not exercise.
Starts doing setups.
That would be amazing. She's like, does push up. Sorry,
Just to be clear with that, yeah.
Gotta really pronounce those command words right.
The subject will obey it to the best only as long as the command is absolutely clear and unequivocal. Thus, a command of suicide is ignored. A command to die causes the creature to fall into a faint. Typical commands are back, flee, halt, run, stop, fall, go, leave, surrender, sleep, rest. Creatures with intelligence of 13 or more 6 or more hit dice get a saving throw, which she just rolled and failed. Yes.
There's a
Command
sentence above that. I don't know if
exercise.
you want to use it though. Above the creatures with intelligence.
No commands affect a creature for more than one round. Undead are not affected at all.
Wow.
Ooh,
Minnie would be though. I don't know if that could
that's
make
true.
her spirit.
We got a bit of a problem here because I mean, can any of us hurt the ghost? I don't think we can.
I mean, the
what it was.
bless did hurt
Yeah,
the ghost.
I'm absolutely sure that I can get this ghost to leave.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. Undead are not affected. Unfortunate. The ghost, does not exercise.
It would affect like Minnie's willpower though, but
Well-
I guess she cannot make it go
Yeah.
away.
Hold on. There is a quote. There is a passage in this monster's text log. While possessing, the Tsar is susceptible to spells like Hold Person that they might not normally be affected by. Normally, ghosts and undead aren't affected by Hold Person type spells. But I think that specifically refers to
The possessed body being held.
right and not the mind of the ghost being affected. So yeah. Yes, good call. Exercise does not work. But it sounds like the cleric of Tempos knows the fate of this woman is different and can bring it to bear. What do you do?
I remark to Minnie, yes, we got your message. We will not be doing such a thing. You can leave now. Please leave, I say.
Okay. The body falls limp.
I look at Berthold like,
Me too.
"Ha-
What was that?
how?
You know, I thought I was
Yes,
going to have to
nicely.
try a little bit harder, but that will do. Do
You
we
command
see
the undead
anything-
now, Bertolt?
You
Do we-
simply have to acknowledge the ghost's purpose and then wish them well. How do you know that?
What?
Did you get the
didn't-
spell?
First of all, I didn't know that would work. Second of all, do we see anything happen?
No, the body just goes limp. Falls to the ground unconscious.
Oh. Well then,
I am
Let's continue.
surprised.
I hide my surprise act confidently and say, well, let's continue.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
Your followers come up and surround you and bombard you with questions. That is the most magnificent thing I've ever seen. You just told her to go and she left. Is this an exorcism? Isn't there normally incense and like sacred ground that it needs to be done on? What did you do? Oh my god. The power of Tempos is amazing. Did you know Tempos was this powerful? I didn't know Tempos was this powerful. I knew he turned the staff that holds the world together and moved everyone's faces around. Yeah, but did you know he could just command ghosts to disappear? Could you just command all the undead to leave? One of them asks you.
And no, I'm afraid it is specifically with the type that inhabit other people's bodies.
How come the cleric of Melkus, when he said exercise, didn't work? I saw him cast a
well,
spell.
You see, it's a typical rookie mistake. These spells do not affect undead.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, my
Won't be
bless
making that
didn't
again.
affect it.
The,
I say
specifically,
just
the
looking at the
command
ground.
spell does not affect undead.
Fair enough.
The wagon.
But
Go ahead.
the cleric of light there had the right idea. If what I did didn't work, I was about to bless this ghost out of existence.
Well, I guess we must get back on the road then, with poor weak Minnie here. I thought this was a show of the gods that we must part our ways with her, but I guess once again, Tempos came through for her, and considering you're part of our party, I feel like I have to trust your advice. You're here for a reason, right?
I nod.
When this conversation's going on, I'm just going to heal some of these wounded guards at the front here.
How many spells do you have left?
I've got one light and one moderate. Who's the most
Excellent.
wounded?
This one, 4 out of 9.
Okay, I'll give him a
Is
moderate.
moderate a level 2 spell?
Yeah.
Is that better than my level 3 spell?
Heal him for 8.
Yep.
And I'll heal the next wounded one for 8. For 1.
Excellent.
Sorry. Once I've done that and I sort of come and turn around and walk into this conversation that Helen and Bertolt are having, I say, how can you be so sure, Bertolt, that the spirit has left? Could it not just be pretending? All she's done is go to sleep.
I point to Minnie. Wizards are typically not good actors.
Undeniable evidence.
I sagely nod.
Oh.
It's gone, but it will be back.
Perhaps one of us should keep an eye on Minnie just to be sure.
Bruce
Of course,
will
as
gingerly
always.
pick her up and put her in the back of the cart where she passes out, and hop in the cart to make sure she's okay and see if she needs anything when she wakes up.
Yeah, I'm a little curious, so I will stick around and see when she does wake up.
Yep, there's room in the cart for one more if you want to hop in.
Yeah, I'll hop in and I'll give the excuse. I need to make sure that the spirit has fully left her. I'll watch over her.
Excellent. All right, you hop in the cart too, and your followers will come along, and the whole procession will head towards Tharnum, and we'll take our first break. We'll be back on the other side with a little more light of Illumis in about 5 minutes. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Light of Illumis. Our party will continue on the road to Tharnham. Is there anything else we want to say or do before we kind of skip ahead?
Just keep a close eye on the dwarf.
I
Minnie, sorry,
I am going to say that I will take the road as a chance to show off my spell list.
Well, before we get to you showing off your spell list, I guess it's worth mentioning that Minnie will wake up in about 20 or so minutes, spit out whatever you've put in her mouth, unless you've actually tied it in there. But I think Barry.
I'd like to think we ungagged her by then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show her. Basically playing good cop here.
Yeah, and she'll ask you guys to untie her since she's, unless you've already done that.
I would have waited for her to wake up and hear her normal voice,
Yeah.
spirit voice.
She's kind of exhausted and tired, and she will look to Bruce in the back of the wagon and say, "Bruce, please, my bonds. What's happened?" Then he'll quickly untie her. He'll explain, the possession and everything. She'll nod a couple of times, wincing, in pain, and say that she'd like to cast a detect magic spell to see if the spirit is still nearby. And ask the Opal to stop the wagon so that she can, stand up properly and cast her spells.
Hang on now. Well, I mean, we're just going to let her cast a spell. How certain are we she's not about to fireball us? Are we all if everyone thinks we're fine, then we're fine.
First of all, I'm going to delve into my own mind. Do I think that a ghost would be detected by detect magic?
It feels like it doesn't make sense that detect spirits exists then.
Yeah.
Why do I have detect spirits?
That's a
I'll
good
just
thought,
put it
you
out
know?
there.
As a cleric, you're pretty certain that detect magic wouldn't detect the spirit, but she's not a
Right.
cleric. She might not be smart enough to understand that.
I feel like you should go explain that to her, Berthold. She's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
about
I'm-
to waste a spell for this.
Right. She's announcing this, and I put my hand on her shoulder and I say, I'm afraid that magic does not work on ghosts.
What do you mean?
You see, we clerics, we have a way of detecting them through a spell called Detect Spirits. Detect magic will do nothing for.
She waves you away. You don't know anything about this. And she begins to cast her detect magic spell anyway.
I quick as she did it, I quickly do the swapperoo with Ryan.
Wait, I look at her and I say, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Okay. Oh.
I tell her not to cast detect magic.
Well, she does it, but she's
Does it-
still well under the effect of miscast magic without
Yeah.
knowing it.
I
So-
immediately get away as far away as I can from the area.
Okay, well, I guess I since my intention was to like either hide behind Ryan so that the aura of the stone would like kind of blend with his. I guess I'm just following Ryan at this point. Not Ryan, Cornelius. Sorry. I don't know where that name comes from. I don't know any Ryans.
Does anyone have the spellcraft skill? Out of interest.
She casts magic missile on on Berthold. You find yourself the subject of 3d4 plus 3 damage as 3 magical darts pop into existence and slam into you, taking 12 points of damage, Berthold.
Oh my god, this is a sign from Tempo. This is a mistake. I knew it.
This is it.
I've been fooled.
I groan. Oh.
I mean,
she cackles with glee and begins to chant the words to another spell.
Whoa, this needs to
What?
stop. I would no.
Everyone
I cannot do that.
roll initiative.
Yes. I
Where
feel
am I
like
in
this
this,
would be
Neal?
the proper moment for like a grand slap, but it doesn't feel like this is appropriate for Sister Helen.
I think I'm maybe on my donkey, just to the side of the carriage. Would you say that that's fair?
Yeah, I think that you are to the side of the carriage on your donkey. Everyone was sort of in their normal positions. The wagon stopped for a moment. We're just going to use the same area. So Berthold was clearly nearby. He had specifically called hanging out in the wagon. And Bruce was specifically nearby because he was in the wagon. I think everybody else was just in the vicinity. And the wagon came to a stop, and people are just kind of chilling in whatever relative space you are right now. Except that she
okay.
stopped out to cast her spell. There we go.
She's going insane.
She's still possessed. It was the most simple trick in the world. Like, the cleric says, "Be gone now, spirit." And then the spirit goes into hibernation so that we'll all think, oh, it works, then we got rid of it. But it's still there.
Is it though? Or is she just insane?
There's no way that this is her best plan to kill us if that's what she wanted to do.
I'm
So,
not saying that it's a good plan. I'm saying she might literally be insane.
No, I think she's still possessed.
You roll 3. Anybody else? Who's rolling? Berthold. Who's rolling into initiative?
Oh,
I mean,
sorry,
I just don't
didn't-
know. We're going to have to just kill her, I think.
It sounds like there's a lot of hesitation happening.
I
No, I mean,
already
I'll
rolled.
try and cast
I rolled
Bless.
a 12 initiative.
Oh,
I just
okay.
screwed up on clicking my character again. I'll do it. I'll do it better, Neal. Next time, I'll be so much better.
I believe in you, Jen. One day. Berthold is casting Hold Person again, it sounds like.
Yes, the physical version.
Right. And it's a 1d10 plus 3 for you.
Basic melee attack. Got a +2, but I guess it's +3, so 17.
But that's just a straight up attack roll. I need a d10 plus 3 for initiative.
Okay. I see. I rolled the wrong thing.
Yeah, there's not a initiative button. Oh,
Aha!
you son of a bitch. Cleric of Malchus, what are you doing?
I cast your light wounds on Berthold.
Excellent. Roll me a d10 plus 5. Excellent. And Kerberos is cast in Bless. Coolio. So, ascending order. Berthold, you are the first one. Sounds like you're throwing yourself out of the wagon to stop her.
Oh, is she off the wagon now?
Yeah, the wagon came to a stop so that she could cast spells, and she stepped out.
Definitely off the wagon.
Okay.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll against AC 10.
Do you want me to do it again, or
I
let
do.
the old ones?
No, I want
Alright.
you to do it again. I want you to roll low.
Oh!
Excellent. You go to interrupt her, but in the process of casting, she's not entirely perfectly still, and she will at least be able to get her spell off before any interruptions can occur, unless Kerberos with his Bless spell.
Yeah, I hit as many people. It's a 50-foot cube, so I think I can get something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Although, maybe I'll I'll get the row of dudes behind her as well. So that they're blessed. Yeah.
Well, Blessed is casting time 1 round, so it will go off at the end of the round, not right here. It's a full minute casting time.
Sorry, yeah, my
So
bad.
we'll put you at the end. Mini will go off. Now, miscast magic. Is it just one? The next spell? I think it's just the next spell.
It's the next spell that they cast. I don't think
Got
it's on her anymore.
Great. So she will cast Flaming Sphere on the wagon, creating a ball of fire. Flaming Sphere that is 6 feet tall and 6 feet wide and appears in the wagon. Creatures within contact of the globe must save a spell or suffer 2d4 points of damage. Those within 5 feet of the sphere must save or suffer 1d4 points of damage. So she will cast it, and it'll be like immediately adjacent to these two, so they will need to save or take full. Berthold, you are sort of near, so you save or take 1d4. I will roll for Minnie. Minnie fails. Bruce might pass. That is a pass for Bruce. So Minnie will take 2d4. Not Minnie. Opal will take 2d4 points of damage. Berthold will take 1d4 points of damage, which is only 1. And the Flaming Sphere will set the cart on fire, probably, unless it rolls really, really high. It does not. The cart goes up in flames. The cloth around it and the beams holding it together begin to burn. Bruce is next. He's getting out of the cart, and I think he's just making an ordinary melee attack. I think this is danger zone, and he will stab at Minnie for 3 points of damage. Malchus, Cleric of Malchus goes. You are casting a healing spell, you said?
That's right.
All right.
Yeah. Wait, I already cast it.
It
I already cast my
was...
healing spell. Yeah.
Roll me... I didn't see the damage, the HP heals.
It was 12.
That was the initiative. Can you roll me 1d8 for the amount that it heals?
Oh, my
Who
fault.
are you healing?
I'm healing Berthold. He got hit with the magic missile.
Okay,
so.
okay,
Yeah, you
okay.
did.
Thank you.
Nice roll.
Excellent. 8 HP to Berthold, please. Lovely. And Sister Helen.
Oh, I was going for the interrupt, but I guess I'm too late. Could I decide to stay next to her and ready action for her next, to interrupt her if she tries again in the next round, or is that not the thing?
If you just grab her right now, she won't be able to perform the somatic components to cast next round.
I'm down. I'm going for that. I
Excellent.
will go for the hand-holdy.
Give me an attack roll against AC.
Wait.
Her
She's
spell
in the middle of the fire, isn't she?
No, the fire is in the cart. She's out of the cart.
Oh, okay, cool. Just making sure.
Let's
right.
see.
So what do you want me to do?
I want you to make me an attack roll against her.
Which type of attack roll?
A basic attack.
Combat.
Yeah, top
Yeah, I
right
don't
corner
see
of
the-
the combat tab of your sheet, under the pink
Basic
box.
attack melee.
That's the one.
Okay, got it.
Oh,
21.
it's
Nice.
excellent. Now, while you're doing this, you're going to notice something. that I think we probably would have noticed earlier, but there were so many people piling on and people were sitting on a cart and it was
Oh,
a
God.
chaotic mess. She is actually under the effect of a armor spell and a ring of protection. So her AC, when you think it's 10, is actually 15. But a 21 is a very good enough. Like, you go to grab her and you can feel there's like an unusual amount of pressure in front of her, but you clip through it with a great attack and you are now grappling her. Would you make me an opposed strength check?
Yes.
And she has 13 strength, 1d20 plus
Yes, I
13.
have pretty shit strength.
You have
Crap.
shit strength. She has shit strength. You get hold of her, but nobody falls to the ground. But you got your arms around her, essentially. Excellent. Next
Stop it,
round,
Minnie! Stop
initiative.
it!
She is incapable of casting spells since you're holding on to her. Bless goes
Wait,
off.
yeah, the blast goes off.
Roll
I
me-
think there's quite a few people saying that we've got lag issues in the stream. Is there anything
Oh
to
no.
do about that? Sorry to interrupt the flow of
No,
things.
that's a good sign. Let me adjust these settings. I think that's all that I can do. If it's still lagging, we'll restart the stream.
Okay.
Roll me
all right, I
1d6 for damage to the spirit.
Yep. 5.
5. And everyone has a +1 to hit and +1 to saving throws. And that is the end of the round. Let's roll initiative. She goes slow.
Did you just roll for me?
I think I rolled for the wrong person. You're right.
That is me. What would be my role if I want to just keep holding on to her and immobilize her?
Just a strength check to change into a better position, because right now you're just kind of loosely holding on to her.
Yeah.
If you wanted to like throw her to the ground or something, that would be a strength check.
Sure. Should I
Alright.